If you lost your job tomorrow, how long do you think you'd be okay? You don't have to answer. Just let the question sit there for a moment. You're not poor. You're not a failure. You actually earn more than you used to. And yet, the unease never really leaves. It's quiet. Persistent. It doesn't go away just because your income goes up. You do everything a responsible man is supposed to do. You show up to work. You take care of your family. You don't spend recklessly. But whenever you think about money, you don't feel lighter. You feel tense. Tense about making the wrong decision. Tense about falling behind others. Tense because there's always this feeling, it's not enough. So you try to fix it the logical way. By earning more. By investing. By making plans that feel like, this time, I've got it right. Because you were taught that men move forward. That men seize opportunities. That money should make more money. But the harder you try, the heavier it feels. Every investment brings hope, and then worry. Every income increase brings relief, and then emptiness. You're not falling apart. You're just never fully at ease. And that's the trap. It's not loud. There are no warnings. It doesn't show up on your bank statement. It lives in your thoughts. In your inability to slow down. In the fear of being left behind. You don't lack money. You lack the feeling of enough. And until that changes, no matter how much more you earn, you'll keep feeling behind. If this hits close to home, you're in the right place. Quiet wealth starts here. Something strange happens after men pass their mid-30s. Income goes up. Experience grows. Careers become more stable. But peace of mind doesn't. For many men, it actually fades. You think back to earlier years. You earned less, but worried less too. Now you earn more, yet your mind is constantly tense. Not because you can't cover today, but because you're worried about tomorrow. You can't even name what's missing. It's not a number. Not a big purchase. Just a vague feeling, not enough. Not enough safety. Not enough buffer. Not enough to truly relax. And from that feeling, a familiar thought appears. I just need one more right move. A smarter decision. A better investment. You're not greedy. You just want to feel secure. But that thought pulls you deeper into the trap. You start watching markets more closely. Reading more news. Consuming more content. Comparing yourself to people who seem ahead. You believe you're not there yet. Because you haven't found the right move. And when you make a little profit, the relief comes, briefly. Then it disappears. Because immediately, a new standard appears. A new version of enough. Higher. Further away. No one tells you this. That constant lack doesn't come from your bank account. It comes from conditioning peace on the future. You don't allow yourself to feel okay now. You tell yourself, later, when I have more. And so year after year. You live in waiting mode. Not collapsing. Not failing. Just, never feeling ready to stop. If you see yourself here, you're not alone. You're standing very close to the center of a quiet financial trap. This is where the contradiction becomes impossible to ignore. You did everything you were told would bring freedom. You earned more. You learned more about money. You invested instead of just saving. On paper, you're moving forward. In reality, you feel more constrained. The more you earn, the more you have to lose. The more you invest, the more you have to monitor. The more you know, the more risks you see. Your mind never rests. Money was supposed to help you breathe easier. Instead, it keeps you alert. Defensive. Always preparing for worst-case scenarios. You no longer see money as a simple tool. You see it as a system that needs constant management. And if you look away, things might slip. Here's what almost no one says out loud. Financial knowledge doesn't always bring peace. Sometimes it just makes you aware of everything that could go wrong. Before, you didn't know, so you didn't worry. Now you know more, and you imagine every possible outcome. What if markets drop? What if this decision is wrong? What if I'm slower than everyone else? You think you're controlling money. But money is taking up space in your head. And that leads to the uncomfortable question. If money is meant to bring freedom, why is it taking away your peace? Not because you failed, but because you may be chasing the wrong idea of freedom. You were taught that financial freedom comes from optimization, from constantly finding better, faster, more efficient ways. But optimization has no finish line. There's always a higher number, a better strategy, someone ahead of you. And once you enter that loop, peace is no longer the goal. It becomes a reward postponed to the future. Later. When it's more certain. That later never arrives. Not because you're not good enough, but because peace was never meant to live there. The internet tells you your problem is obvious. You're not fast enough. Not bold enough. Not aggressive enough. You're told that if you still feel anxious, you just haven't optimized hard enough. Haven't found the right strategy. Haven't taken full advantage of opportunity. Fast wealth is praised. Waiting is mocked. Slowing down is called weakness. And if you choose caution, you're labeled afraid, unambitious, outdated. But there's a part of the story financial YouTube rarely talks about. They don't talk about sleepless nights, about constantly checking markets, about the quiet panic when numbers move. They don't talk about rushed decisions made out of fear, about big losses caused by trying to outrun time. And they almost never talk about middle age, the stage where mistakes are expensive, where one wrong decision affects not just you, but your family and their sense of security. Still, you're encouraged to keep accelerating, to take more risk, to believe the problem is that you're still not enough. This is where we pause. Because the trap isn't that you don't have enough money. It's that you're never allowed to feel enough. Each milestone only creates another one. Higher. Further. No one asks whether you truly need it. Only that you believe you're lacking. And when enough is always in the future, peace gets dragged there too. You're not trapped because you're weak. You're trapped because you live in a system that treats slowing down as failure. But here's the quiet truth. Not everyone who moves slowly loses. And not everyone who moves fast arrives safely. Sometimes the most dangerous thing isn't earning too little. It's never allowing yourself to feel enough. That's when the trap becomes invisible. Call it what it is. The quiet financial trap. No crash. No bankruptcy. No dramatic collapse. That's why it's dangerous. It's silent. It doesn't panic you right away. It convinces you that everything is fine. You still earn. Still pay bills. Still move forward. But slowly, you lose something essential. Peace. No one warns you. Because from the outside it looks like responsibility. Like effort. Like a man doing the right thing. The trap works quietly. It starts with subtle comparison. Not bragging. Not open competition. Just small thoughts. They did it, why haven't I? They're ahead, am I falling behind? Without noticing, your definition of enough is no longer yours. Then comes ambition without rest. Not bad ambition, but ambition that never allows you to pause. Every goal becomes a stepping stone. No moment to ask, do I actually need more? And when you never feel enough, decisions drift away from logic. You invest not from plans, but from emotion, from fear of missing out, from the hope that one right move will fix everything. The trap doesn't take your money immediately. It takes your patience, your ability to wait, your right to feel content now. Quiet wealth begins here. Not by learning to move faster, but by learning when to stop. Not by earning endlessly, but by understanding what enough means for you. Because sustainable wealth isn't built on tension. It's built on clarity. And only once you see the trap, can you step out of it. Quietly, steadily. The way out isn't a new strategy. It's not more risk. Not speed. Not cleverness. It's quieter than that. You don't need more products. More complexity. More plans to manage daily. You need to slow down. Not to quit, but to see what's really driving your decisions. When you slow down, you notice how many choices came from short-term emotion, not long-term intention. Fear of missing out. Fear of falling behind. The pressure to act now. Clarity doesn't come from more information. It comes from less noise. Less tracking. Less comparing. Less reacting to what you can't control. With clarity, you make fewer decisions. And fewer decisions often lead to better outcomes. Every financial choice carries a mental cost. The more you make, the more exhausted you become. And the easier it is to get it wrong. Quiet wealth doesn't ask you to do more. It asks you to stop doing what isn't necessary. Stop optimizing everything. Stop racing time. Stop believing one perfect move will solve everything. Sustainable wealth doesn't start with big leaps. It starts by not making things worse. No borrowing to feed illusions. No emotional investing. No major decisions when you're stressed. Just enough clarity to protect what you've built. Enough discipline not to sabotage it. And enough patience to let time work. The exit isn't dramatic. There's no big awakening. Just a quiet shift. You begin to value peace over excitement. And things slowly get lighter. If you've stayed this far, you're probably feeling something familiar. Not excitement. Not hype. Stillness. And that matters. Because if there's one thing you need to hear, it's this. You're not wrong. You're not lazy. Not incapable. Not lacking effort. You grew up in a system that measured a man's worth. By upward speed. By always having more. By never stopping. No one taught you how to feel enough. No one told you that financial peace comes from knowing where you stand and accepting it. Quiet wealth exists for that reason. Not to teach fast money. Not to promise financial freedom. And not to turn you into someone richer than others. This channel slows down. Because the people listening are tired. It speaks honestly. Because you don't need more false motivation. And it speaks to men who've done the right things for a long time. But still don't feel light. Here, money isn't your identity. It's a tool. One part of life, not all of it. You don't need to change everything today. No big decisions. No new plans. Just hold on to one thought. Maybe you don't need to run as fast as you think. If you found yourself nodding quietly, you're probably in the right place. Stay. Listen. Let it sink in. Quiet wealth isn't in a hurry. And you don't have to be either.